All right, guys. Now I want to talk about WWE and kind of a lot of stuff. But the first thing I want to talk about is how they need to push new wrestlers. It just ECW is that's where they've been going, which I like how they're pulling guys up from FCW, but I none of them are getting a real kind of push. None of them are they they what did they do that with the last guy? Shit. I can't remember, but they got a bunch of guys. Tyler Rex is Sheamus, that Irish guy. I think he could be a pretty good main eventer. They got Tyler Rex, Sheamus, Yoshitatsu. They're doing something with Kurt Hawkins, or no, Zack Ryder. I think it's Zack Ryder. Whatever. But one of those the edge heads, and I like how they're keeping them because they're actually pretty talented. But they got a they're pulling guys up. They brought up that DJ Gabriel. I remember he could have probably with a better gimmick. He probably could have been another one that could have pushed. But they got so many. They got a slew of potentials in ECW. They put them on every show, but they don't. They just put them in a tag team match or the job, and that's all. That's all they really do with them. It's always just Christian, Tommy Dreamer, and now William Regal. Well, they're finally putting. Oh, and Ezekiel Jackson is finally getting a push. Finally, after all that other bodyguardy crap he was doing, he's finally getting a push, which is better get a push from Vladimir Kozlov. But they have Kozlov. I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna be Christian. Hopefully Dreamer. Hopefully they don't throw him under the bus into Job again. Christian, Dreamer, maybe Regal. He's got a championship match, which I thought was weird, but that's all right. I like to see new guys. Regal, Ezekiel, and Vladimir. Those seem like the top five that they're gonna use probably for a long time. Hopefully not. We don't know with WWE. But all right, now to SmackDown. I like how they pushed Morrison big time. That's like I'm so happy for that because he will be a WrestleMania main eventer come a few years. They also pushed Dolph Ziggler, and they are still pushing him with the Intercontinental and Rey Mysterio, and that's good because he's another potential main eventer soon, and that's good. And Crime Time, they're finally pushing someone for Crime Time. They've always they never JTG just beat Chris Jericho, which I think is more important than people think because I think they can break off into singles competitors. They got that they got a presence about. They got the mic work. JTG's pretty skilled at wrestling. Shad's not even that bad really, but I thought they could be a singles competitor, especially Shad. He could probably be a I don't know. He could probably be a. He's fairly young. He could probably be a WWE champion come 5 years or so too. But and I hope they keep with their pushes and bring them up into something bigger and continue with building up the Intercontinental and the Tag Team Championships, both those divisions. The Intercontinentals they're building up with Rey Mysterio since WrestleMania when they had him and Jericho, both champions, which was great, and I'm glad to see it finally getting built up. And the same with the Tag Team Championships. It was basically just like Miz and Morrison, and then like some guys would have it for a while, like the those guys with the skirts, the Woodlanders, I think they were. I don't remember. They had it and they lose it. Then it was Cade and Cade and whatever the other country guy is. That God, it seems so long ago, but they're gone. It's just like you get the tag team titles, you lose them, you got no work, and you die after that, which is too bad. But hopefully they could build it up where you can branch into a singles competition and do something with it. Okay, now in Raw they have done nothing, absolutely nothing to push any talent. First thing they did after WrestleMania after the draft was Miz, and I was like, oh, okay, and they put him against Cena at that next pay-per-view. I'm not sure which one it was, and I was like, I didn't get to see the match, but I did read the review of it, and I was so mad that they made Cena squash Miz. I was just so angry because Miz is another one who's got great potential. He's so good on the mic, and he's a good heel. He's one of the only people that can actually get the crowd riled up. Not many people can do that in the WWE these days, but he can. And after what was it, 7 or 8, almost 2 months of him talking trash every week, and then he goes to whatever pay per view was and gets squashed by John Cena because he's John fucking Cena. Because John Cena is Superman. I don't mind John Cena. I like. Here's what I think about John Cena. He I don't mind his character so much as everyone else. I really don't. But it's just the way he has to be Superman. He can't be beaten. In the end, he's out on top all the time. It doesn't make a difference who or what or when. It just he's got to be. He's Superman, and it makes it's stupid. Like you gotta make him human. He's not human. It's like all the other wrestlers are here like below, and then there's John Cena like 3 steps ahead, and like Triple H is like probably tied with him or just under, but that's another story for a rainy day. But yeah, that's what I. And then who else didn't get a push that should have? Shit, I'm drawing a blank now, guys. Oh, Evan Bourne. There we go, Evan Bourne. Cyber Sunday last year, he got voted um into the ECW Championship match against Matt Hardy, which was a great match. It was an awesome match. And then he didn't do it. He got injured, which I understand. And then he's been mid mid the whole time, which is too bad because he made an impact right when he came in, and then now he's just sitting there. He's not doing anything. He's just facing who was Jay? No, who was it? God, I don't remember. But he's not a jobber, but he's just doing mid, and I hope he's just doing mid card matches, which I hope he gets out of because it's too bad because he's such a great wrestler and he had so much. He could have been Rey Mysterio without the mask. He was that talented, and I honestly, Raw was the worst thing they could have done with him because he ain't gonna get a push on Raw. Not with all those people on there. Not with Triple H, Cena, Orton, and Batista. Whenever he comes back, he's not gonna get. How are they gonna work him into a main event match? How's Vince McMahon gonna work him into a main event match? It's not gonna happen. It just won't. You United States champ at best he'll get. He's not gonna get anything else, which is too bad because they did. And that's the difference between the WWE Attitude Era and like right before that was they were willing to take the risk to do something new. Like I remember 1, 2, 3 Kid, the biggest jobber ever, and they put him against today's equivalent of like I don't know, I gotta think like Chris Jericho. It was against Razor Ramon. Someone like Chris Jericho put a jobber in there and he beats him, and then he goes on to big thing. Like he was a tag team champ. He got a WWF title match against Bret the Hitman Hart, and he can't. It was a 15 minute, 10 minute match that was pretty. He got a lot of near falls, and that's what made wrestling great was the unpredictableness. Now it's just the same. I know I sound like an old broken record right now, repeating what everyone said, but it's true, and I would wish we could reinforce this to someone, but it is. It is. It's always like Orton versus Triple H or Cena versus Triple H or Orton versus Cena. All that same stuff on Raw, and it's just ridiculous. And ECW is the same way with Christian usually versus like Christian versus not. It's probably not gonna be Dream anymore, but it's gonna be Christian versus a big physically big opponent. William Regal's a big person. It's gonna be either Vladimir Kozlov or Ezekiel Jackson. And it's just ah man, it's just I don't know what WWE's doing these days. They're just way I don't know who or what is wrong, but they got to get it fixed or because they're gonna be in big trouble come a few years, and I'll explain that on my next rant.